Lynn Cullen live in 1 minute. Welcome to Lynn Cullen Live at pghcitypaper.com. Email your questions and comments to Lynn at pghcitypaper.com.
Has a lot happened since last we spoke. Hello. I'm sort of done in by the weekend. How are you guys? Well, that's good. I'm imagining a positive response. Also want to welcome back Celine from India. She's here, kinda. She's trying to process where she is. She's a little, as she said, her jet lag has jet lag. So Celine's back, I'm back, you're back. I don't know where to start, guys. I really don't know where to start. Okay, I'll start with this. This has to be the most extraordinary headline. Well, not extraordinary. Extraordinary is the wrong word. I can't think of what the word is. You'll figure it out as soon as I tell you what the headline is. This is page C3 of today's New York Times. It's not the headline, excuse me. It's the first sentence. The first sentence of this story reads thusly: "It's a good time to be David Bowie." Oh, my God. I mean, I read it and I thought, what? I mean, what? I couldn't even. And then I realized, this paper went to, as they say, bed before the announcement of his surprising death. But of all things, for there to be a story with that sentence, it's a good time to be David Bowie. It's a story, of course, about the fact that, I'll read the next sentence. He has just celebrated his 69th birthday, released an album, has a show, Lazarus, running off Broadway, and now he is to be honored at Carnegie Hall with a concert. It's a good time. Wow. That was shocking. I think shocking mostly because I don't think anyone had a clue he was ill. And that's pretty amazing for somebody to pull that off, a celebrity, to pull that off while releasing an album, while all these things going on in his life. And wow. I'm without words still. Shocking. So, okay, I'm going to start real slow. I'm just going to ease in here. If anything appeals to you, you just jump right in, okay? So the Powerball jackpot is now worth $1.3 billion. And I don't know what it is about me that I don't understand this at all. I've never bought a lottery ticket. I never will buy a lottery ticket. I intend to die without ever stepping foot in Las Vegas, Nevada, or Reno, or any of those places. I have this just built-in antipathy toward gambling. And it's not that I think I'm a risk taker. But I'd like to think, I don't know. I just have always thought this kind of gambling is such a fool's errand. And it's known to be a fool's errand. I refuse to take part. And then I was thinking, what would you do? Do you know what $1 billion+ would do to your life? You think it would make it better? Do you? My guess is that for most people, it would upend your reality so much that it would be about as destabilizing an event as something awful happening. I mean, and you don't know what that's going. It's like signing up and praying that you'll be the winner who gets to have a bomb dropped on them. That's pretty much like what it would be, I think. No one ever wants to listen to me yap about this stuff, but I just think that would be pretty awful for most. Some people might keep their feet and handle it, but it's signing up to have who you are changed forever and immediately, and to have everyone in your life relate to you differently, except your dog. I mean, I would think the only thing that would be the same would be, I hope whoever wins has a dog that they're close to. I don't know. They don't say money is the root of all evil for nothing. Oh, so I don't get it. You guys all go off. Even my sister, I mean, she texted me the other day when no one hit. Buy some tickets! Absolutely not. No, thank you. I told someone the other night, you got as much of a shot as it was a woman, of being named the next pope. Which immediately was shot down by everybody in attendance, saying that there was absolutely no chance of that happening, while there was a 1 in, I don't know, what is it, 700 million chance that, you could win. God. Would you take those odds for any other thing? Would you happily jump in for, I don't get it. I wonder what it is about me. I mean, is that sort of a stick-in-the-mud aspect of me? I don't know. But I feel like everybody is insane. Anyway. So did you watch the football game? Or what passed for a football game on Saturday? I don't even know where to start on that. I almost was wishing that immediately after that game that the network put on the movie Concussion and force everybody to, okay, if you watch that, now watch this. It's hard to love a game when that's what it devolves to. It is. And, okay, I don't know what to say. Although, am I supposed to start worrying now that the Steelers and the Packers are going to be in a Super Bowl because they're both still in? And I think they're probably I know the Packers might be the worst team that's still in. I mean, but things happen. I just don't know. I don't want to have to go through that again either. Like watching your two favorite children fight. That's when you're not excoriating the whole idea of the sport in general. Jeez. Okay, and I just saw this. This is speaking of the sport. The city of Cincinnati, and I feel for the people of Cincinnati, not because their team lost. I feel for them because the outrageous behavior of some of the fans in that stadium, and some of those players on the field, makes you say things like, that are too broadly stated, like, what a disgusting bunch of, so you just say all those Cincinnati fans when it's, maybe it's, but to be cheering and throwing things at an injured player when he's carted off the field. I mean, the Roman gladiator metaphor that we often use, I don't know, were the Romans that badly behaved? When a gladiator was wounded, did they start pelting him with anything they could get their hands on and cheering, I suppose? But then I see this. A Cincinnati radio station is reporting that 6 men were arrested on Saturday at that game. I'm surprised not more. 3 of them, though, were Steeler fans, and 3 of them were Cincinnati fans. And listen to what they're accused of doing, and listen to the age, and just get your own picture in your head. This is why I don't go to Steeler games. I don't like the crowd. But again, that's a broad brush. 21-year-old Steeler fan Tyler Mathis has been arrested. He was accused of striking a woman in the face. Another Steeler fan, 28-year-old Andrew Robles, was also accused of striking a woman in the head. Also, 25-year-old Steeler fan David Grillo was accused of throwing a beer can at a Bengals fan, which caused facial lacerations. And now to the Bengals fans. 19-year-old Jared McCarty was arrested for having a fake ID, consumption of alcohol, and theft, and also striking a woman in the face. We see a pattern here? "29-year-old Philip Ross, Cincinnati fan, headbutted a man." Oh, thank you. Let's hear it for Philip. Hey, Philip, at least he headbutted a man in the face. All the others are doing it to women. And finally, 33-year-old, finally someone a little older, 33-year-old Martin Cook was accused of assault after he reportedly exposed himself and urinated on another person and then got into a fight with the guy he urinated on. Celine, you missed this game, but suffice to say that this, that this sort of sums up the general feeling that emerged from that spectacle. So I'm looking at these mugshots, and it's 6 young, white men, 4 of whom assaulted women, 1 of whom urinated on somebody. They're all probably drunk as skunks. And unfortunately, football, the game, attracts this ilk. So don't jump too much on the Cincy fans when these 3 upstanding Pittsburgh Steelers fans were representing our side. Disgusting. I remember Doug Hirth used to say that a football game was merely an excuse for millions of drunks to start drinking early in the morning, to drink all day, to have it be perfectly acceptable to have even parties at the stadium, and then once in the stadium, more booze comes your way, and then there's all the violence on the field, fueling, and it just keeps going. And I think Doug was absolutely right. It's an excuse to get blinding, drunk, and aggressive. Have you ever wondered why the police don't have a huge presence on the roads leading out of Heinz Field every Sunday after a game for DUIs? Can you imagine how many drunks are on the road after a football game? Good God. It's like I don't like being out on New Year's Eve because I know. Do I have to be? I'm not an idiot. I know there's a whole bunch of dangerous people on the roads, drunks. And I don't think I want to be out there. I know that's true, though, after a game as well. And you don't even have to have been at the game. You could just be at a bar watching the game. Okay, I'll stop. Unbelievable. I mean, there's so much news. I really don't know where to I don't know where to start. Let's go to some news that's not getting much attention. I take you back to one of the first videos we saw of an unarmed black man being killed by officers of the law. You might recall this one. His name was Eric Garner. You know how these names all sort of, you hear the name and you think, now which one was that? I remember Eric Garner because to me he was like the first one where we had the video. I think maybe. And the first one where the video clearly showed that he was no threat to those police officers and should not have ended up dead for selling individual cigarettes on a street corner. Hardly a capital crime. And then we saw the videos. It's appalling. I mean, just appalling. But remember what was more appalling? Nothing was done. There was a grand jury called. They heard all the evidence and said nobody did anything wrong. An innocent man is dead at the hands of the police and nobody did anything wrong. Well, imagine my shock when I hear on the news that one of the police officers has been not charged, but is suspended because there's some internal disciplinary charges. So the police are deciding to point the finger at one of the officers and say, there's the problem. Have you heard about this? Do you know which officer it was? Was it the officer who was constricting the throat of Eric Garner as he gasped for air and breath and life? No, that wasn't that one. The officer who is now facing possible loss of uniform, badge, and livelihood was the only black female officer on the scene. She never laid a hand on Eric Garner. Sergeant Kizzy Adonis. And in fact, a guy who owned a store there who was watching this murder clearly told police that Sergeant Adonis said to the officers who were killing Eric Garner, "Let up. You got him already." And that when the officer said, "Let up, you got him already," the officer who had him and was killing him looked up at her, this black female, supposedly senior to him, and he turned back and continued killing Eric Garner. Didn't let up. Did not follow the orders of a direct superior. She was one of two police supervisors who were on the scene. I have no idea if these charges are reasonable charges, but from what I know, and knowing she didn't kill him, she was part of that scrum of police, but never part of the physicality of it. And in fact, according to the witness, tried to get the other officer to stop. And she's the one that's facing police department discipline. Just want to say, shocking. I don't know if she was the only black officer there. I don't know if she was the only female officer there. But I'm pretty damn sure she was the only black female officer there. And she's the one that gets charged in this state, thus far state-sanctioned murder of a black man. I saw that. I went nuts. I went nuts. Not really. Because I thought, yeah, sure. Sure, of course. Okay. So did you watch the Golden Globes last night? I suffered through a little bit of it and then said, you know what? I said to myself, you know what? I don't really need to watch these movie stars get up and congratulate each other and sometimes act badly, and I turned it off. And as far as I understand, the Golden Globes are a joke. I mean, they're considered a joke by Hollywood. They amount to the opinion of fewer than 100 movie buffs from foreign countries. That's what they are. I don't even know if they're movie critics. I think they're just I don't know. It is the oddest thing in the world. You know that they're absolutely bereft of any meaning whatsoever when you see that The Martian won for Best Comedy. Did you see The Martian? It won for Best Movie or Comedy or Musical. Well, hey, there was some music in it, bad music, disco music, and there was maybe a titter or two. It was not a comedy. It was not a musical, and yet it wins. Go figure. I didn't even know half of the things that were winning, but that's because there's so much out there now. Heck with it. Is anybody out there? Really? They're out there? It's quiet today, huh? Ground control. Ground control to the audience. I'm feeling really alone here. You know, imagine me. I mean, I don't deserve any sympathy here, but imagine going to work and having to sit in a soundproof room and talk to yourself for an hour. I mean, sometimes you feel real silly. I mean, it'd be different if I could see you, then but because I can't, I always have to conjure you. And it's good. Okay, Celine tells me that, yes, in fact, there are people there. Okay, that's good. Margie says she has a funny story regarding the movie Carol. That's a movie I saw over the weekend. And, here's the story. My God, Mark, you actually wrote something beyond the subject line? Wow. I never even click on your things because I think there's nothing there. My wife's mother's friend church group. My wife's mother's friend's church group, gotcha, went to see Carol. Celine just said, uh-oh. Yeah. They had no idea the movie was about a lesbian relationship. Funny shit. Well, you're not going to tell us what did they leave? Did they sit through it? Margie saw the movie as well. Finally, a good ending with it. Oh, okay, no. Good movie with a good ending. Don't be a spoiler. It was a good movie, but I didn't think it would. I'm disappointed almost every time I go to movies now because you hear all these breathless raves, or I read them, and then I go and I'm like, yeah, okay, that's good. But you're hardly transported, or I just don't know when I can say that about a movie lately. I've seen all these movies. Yeah, they're good. I'm forever walking out disappointed. So I sat at this movie next to some old ladies. Maybe it was the church group. They were very quiet. There was one old man next to him. And when the movie was over, one of the old ladies turned to the man and said, "Well, I guess I owe you one." And he said, "Don't worry, I slept through it." I mean, it's a very quiet love story. That's all it is. Very moody and very beautifully shot and acted, and the costumes. Oh my God. What Kate Blanchett wears, you can't believe how beautiful it is. Takes place in the 50s. I don't think of the 50s as beautiful clothes, but wow. Wooey, wooey, wooey. And, but, yeah, okay. I mean, Well, William says, "Yeah, I'm here." And Melanie says, "We're here." And you're awful sweet. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Ground control to Major Tom.
Just listen to Bowie records for the rest of the day.
We could just play Bowie records. He and my nemesis, Iggy, were real close. So I suppose I can take some joy in knowing Iggy's having a bad day. What an awful thing to say. What? I didn't mean that. That was cheap, low, and really beneath me, I must say. It was terrible. Terrible thing. Okay, what else? I'm so avoiding... Oh, El Chapo and what's his name? Sean Penn? Do you know about that? No. See, there's something to be said about being in India. Yeah, right. or in transit across the globe, where you don't hear this story. So anyway, the big drug lord in Mexico, El Chapo, who did that astonishing cinematic tunneling out of the prison in Mexico, has been captured. However, turns out that weeks before he was captured, Sean Penn was spirited away via all kinds of, really clandestine kinds of things through jungles, private planes, blah, 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 armored cars, to interview El Chapo while he was in hiding. While the Americans, every American law enforcement agency, every Mexican law enforcement agency, Sean Penn, who was there in his capacity as a world-renowned journalist, apparently, who was working for Rolling Stone. Yeah. I mean, also, we're told that Rolling Stone agreed to interview El Chapo using the great journalist Sean Penn, who was not allowed to bring writing paper, a writing implement, recording devices, or anything. Which is, for a world-renowned journalist, would be a real heavy lift. But for Sean Penn, I can't imagine. It's this is a story worthy of a movie. Since the rendezvous was set up by a Mexican movie star. Or TV star. Is she a TV star? Yeah, she's in a soap opera about drug dealers. I mean, you know what? The blurring of lines here in this particular story is so unbelievable. I can't even. You know what? I have not much to say about it because I'm left like what? And now it appears that because the authorities were sort of onto the movie, the actress, it could be that then her contact with Penn and blah, 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 because she arranged, somehow did allow the authorities to get to him. So El Chapo's vanity took him down. His need to have his story told, and also probably his desire to get up close and personal with the actress. I don't know. You know what? And I don't care. Sean Penn, what a piece of work. And Rolling Stone, which used to be considered a journalistic organ, but which isn't particularly anymore, given their wonderful coverage of that fraternity rape, turns out that they gave El Chapo editing power over anything they wrote. Which is, I'm telling you, journalism 101, never. Not kosher. What a world. It's almost as if there's no rules that everybody agrees on anymore. And that's troublesome, I think. Melanie writes in regard to Margie's mother's friend's church group. I think I got that right. Margie's wife's mother's friend's church group going to see Carol about lesbians. Melanie writes, I'm always amazed that people go to movies, plays, and they don't know anything about them. and then they get offended for whatever reason. Don't they do any research beforehand? I mean, I agree with you, Melanie. I mean, so you just go, let's just go to the movie theater and we'll go eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I mean, I don't, you got me, Melanie. We got a call. Hello.
Hello.
Why?
Hey, I'm out here.
I'm glad. I was feeling particularly bereft today because, I mean, there's really a lot of great stories afoot.
Yeah, and here's the sad thing. What I have to say is pathetic. But I have to get it out of my system.
Okay,
You were talking about Sean going down there without anything to write with, and I thought he doesn't need anything to write with because he is a Penn. Now, you did all of that, and I made this phone call, and you don't feel any lonely for that really bad pun. And that's
a particularly bad pun. So, I mean, he's lucky he wasn't killed. El Chapo could have said, I said no pens!
The guy's name is El Chapo.
What does that mean?
I don't know. You know, it's somebody who's going to, like, behead you. That's like
El Chapo, right.
That's, no, but, you know, as I was thinking, though, you know, and on a half-serious note, that, you know, he has to learn lines. So he probably has a decent memory, you know, so. You know,
well, I thought the same thing.
Yeah.
That, okay, he's used to, but it's totally different. So it means he can't really quote. Yeah, I'm not going to read the article, so I don't know, but Jesus Christ.
Out of all the news stories that you talked about, the only one that I didn't know about the New
cop.
York cop.
Yeah,
that was new to me, but I guess because it's nowhere. But David Bowie, that, you know, I was a big Bowie fan, and I was like, oh, wow.
You mean you didn't know?
I knew.
Oh.
You know what I mean? But that's the only one that you talked about that I cared about.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
That, you know, but now I have to, you know, go read about that and spread the news about that, the black female cop who's getting disciplinary action and try to figure out why.
Yeah, you know, I read that was in the New York Times maybe 2 days ago, and I just in their local section. So you know, I haven't seen anything anywhere else about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think of all the cops that day that were involved in that, why would it be her?
Yeah, and it's probably because she said, "Okay, you."
You have him, yeah.
Yeah, you have
back
him.
off.
Yeah,
right.
It might be, you know, that's the cynical side of me always, you know, always goes there. You know, it's like, okay, but this is one of those things that bothers me. He's like, yeah, there were a bunch of good cops out there. You know, you can't focus on the ones who do these bad things. I'm like, yeah, but the ones who are supposedly good cops are letting these guys, you know, that thin blue line thing. That to me makes them also bad cops. You know, if you let the people who do the bad things stay within your ranks without saying anything.
Right.
Yeah.
So geez.
And that could be a problem with her. She's a whistleblower or something, and this is like a threat.
I don't know. I can't imagine, and I feel for her. She'd only been in that supervisory capacity for like a short period of time. She's probably, you know, easy pickings in that system. I don't know. It's astonishing. So, hey, you're not Jewish.
Well, according to my brother, I am, but.
Well, okay. But I have something here that I just like. You seem like the perfect foil.
Okay.
All right. Now, you figure you know some Yiddish words, right?
Oi.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if I were to throw some your way, could you give me a sense of maybe what they mean?
Okay. Now, I might end up looking like a schmuck, but...
How did you know that that's one of the words? Because I'm only doing, Clarence, I'm only doing the Yiddish words that start with sh. And you know that's almost all of them.
Believe it, all of my Yiddish knowledge comes from Jewish comedians.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, right. So it's just beyond belief, the number that start with sh. Okay? As a matter of fact, the first one on the list is schmuck.
That means basically like an idiot, right?
Well, technically it means a penis.
Oh. I thought that was schlong.
Schlong means a penis, too.
Okay. Yeah, all right.
Okay, here we go.
I'm ready.
Schlamazel.
Laverne and Shirley.
Oh, he's such a schlemazel. I mean, so
No, I don't know what that means. I just know it was.
it's somebody. Well, it's typical. It's somebody who can't do anything right.
Okay.
Okay, isn't that a perfect word for it? Think of it.
Yeah.
Hey, such a schlemazel. Yeah,
I should write these
schlemazel.
down.
There's something about Yiddish which is it's onomatopoeic. The whole friggin' language. I mean, it's once you know what the word means, you think, well, sure, it couldn't mean anything else. Okay.
All right.
Schwitz. Oi, I'm
Got a little
schwitzing.
Oh, see,
You're thinking spritz. No. Oi, I'm schwitzing.
that's
Oi, how I'm schwitzing.
yeah, that's one of those that you have to fan yourself.
Yes,
because
yes, it means sweating.
Yeah, sweating. Yeah, there we go.
Oi, so hot. Schwitz. Schwitz. Okay. Schnorrer.
I never heard that one.
Okay, a schnorrer is, well, we all have them in our circle. People who somehow never seem to pay for anything.
That perfectly describes me.
Well, no, it doesn't. Because it's somebody who feeds off other people, and it's not meant as ever as a good thing. You don't want to be a schnorrer.
Okay.
Okay, moving on. Are you going to remember any of these? If I go back at the end and ask, will you
And
know?
retest me?
Yeah.
A schlemiel, I will.
Okay.
Because I like that one.
No, schlemazel.
Schlemazel. Right. Okay, well, once again, I feel like a schmuck. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, well, how about a schmendrick?
Jeez. See, when you say, I'm thinking like almost a smart ass.
Yeah, well, okay, here's the thing. Schmendrick, schlemazel, schmuck, you could use all of those interchangeably.
Okay. What does it actually mean?
Well, the thing I have here is for schmendrick, it says sort of the same as schlemazel.
See, I get pictures in my head. When you say schmendrick, I think of like a nerdy guy with big glasses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's good. That's okay.
Yeah,
That'll
yeah.
work.
All right.
Okay, here's one. Okay. Shanda. And you sometimes might hear a Jew say, oi, what a shanda.
Now, see, that to me is a Jewish guy in a black neighborhood who's looking for his babysitter.
No.
That sounds like a black woman. That sounds like a black woman's name. It's like, where's Shanda?
A shanda is a serious thing. A shanda is a, what? A shame, a disgrace. It's like, oh, God, oh, what a shanda. Yeah.
Still sounds like a black woman's
Okay, yes, it does. Well, isn't Shonda rhymes, or is that how it's pronounced?
You know what? That's probably where I'm getting it from.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Okay. Believe it or not, we haven't done schlemiel, right? Schlemiel is the same as schlemazel is the same as schmendrick. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Schlemiel, schlemazel. How about a shicker?
Never heard that one.
Okay, that's a drunk.
See, I gotta move to New York.
Not to be mistaken for shiksa. Shicker, shiksa.
No, see, shiksa sounds like something that's positive.
What does? Shicker?
Shiksa.
Shiksa.
Is that a positive?
No, it's just it's it means a non-Jewish female.
See, yeah, that's like, oh yeah, she's a shiksa. That's all it means then, right?
Yeah.
So
Well, but I think
every time I've heard the word, they were talking about a blonde. Like, he married a shiksa.
Yeah, a shiksa, a non-Jew.
Yeah.
That's what.
Yeah, okay,
so
that's what it means. Okay.
within the Yiddish-speaking community, a shiksa would not be a good thing. You don't want your son marrying a shiksa,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think some people could look at shiksa and say it's pejorative, but I don't think that because it's just I don't think so.
Mm-hmm. Now, is that where the word chick probably started from? You know what I mean? The Yiddish people say, hey, that's a shiksa. Say, hey, that's a nice looking chick. And it's
I don't know.
Yeah, it's interesting. Huh?
Schnook.
See, I know that. I use that myself.
Well, you do use it. What is schnook? When do you think you'd use that?
You feel stupid, right? Is it stupid?
Schnook. They say here it's a creep.
A creep. All right.
What a schnook.
No, see,
And here again, you could say schnook, what a schnook, what a schlemazel, what a schlemiel, they're all negatives, but they have slightly different meanings.
The first time I heard the word schnook, or actually read it in a Mad magazine, it was a rewrite of Yesterday by the Beatles. It's called Saturday. about the post office. I feel like.
Do you remember it?
I remember the whole song. Yeah.
Oh, go,
okay.
Do something.
Saturday, I was mailed a letter Saturday from a friend of mine 3 blocks away. He sent it off on Saturday. Monday's mail made me hopeful, but to no avail. Just a postcard from a clearance sale. That's all there was in Monday's mail. Tuesday was the same. All that came was just a book. Every day I look like a snook. I'm looking still. One fine day, when I'm 90 and my hair is gray, I am hopeful it will come my way. That letter mailed last Saturday. I might have been 10.
Did you say that was Mad Magazine?
It was Mad Magazine.
Yeah, right, sure.
Me and my sister used to, actually harmonize singing that song.
My brother brother would remember a lot of those songs because he was always singing. Oh, they were so funny. So funny. That was good. Thank you. I didn't know that one. Okay, here's some that are not about, people. Mm-hmm. A shtetl.
Jeez. Man, I got to watch more comedies. Never heard the word.
Okay, a shtetl. So what shtetl are your people from? It's a little Jewish town, like, when Jews lived in, like, little ghettos. A shtetl. So Fiddler on the Roof takes place in a shtetl.
Got it.
Okay. Shush. That's Yiddish.
Shush is actually a Yiddish word?
Yes.
Ah. Sheesh. Is that Yiddish?
Yeah, probably. I don't know. Here's a little bit of a phrase. Spilkus and tuchus.
Now, I know tuchus is the butt, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but I don't know what the other part is.
Spilkus. It's, spilkus is mean, I got the spilkies, I got spilks. It means you got ants in your pants. So spilkies is you can't, you're impatient. You can't sit down. You're spilkus and tuchus.
Cool.
However, a shaner tuchus is
Can you repeat that, please?
A shaner tuchus is a nice ass.
I gotta write that. The female butt is like one of my favorite things.
Okay,
on the
shaner tuchus, and shana means pretty or good looking. I mean, anything that starts with shana, you gotta figure that's a positive. Okay.
Okay.
A schmear. Give me a
schmear on my bagel. I heard that.
Yeah.
It's just that is what it is.
It's just what? Yeah, they do say it's spreading butter like a butter on bread, but it also means to bribe. I've never heard that.
Have I heard it like?
Mit a schmear.
Yeah, like to smear somebody's name.
Okay.
To spread bad things around about bad stuff around. You know what I mean?
That's smear.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, schmutz. Schmutz.
Is that like you got like a little piece of jelly like on the side of your mouth? You got a little schmutz there.
No, that's still a smear.
Okay.
What's schmutz?
I don't know.
Well, schmutz is maybe if you drop the schmear in your lap and it stained your clothes.
That's what I thought. That's basically what I was saying. We got a little schmutz there, and
Yeah, schmutz is
hanky,
like
you lick your,
Yeah, it's like dirt. It really means dirt or something, but it's like schmutz.
Yeah.
Schmutz you don't want.
Right.
Okay. I remember my grandmother once saying when I was wearing my hippie regalia, I thought I looked so gorgeous, and she said, "What are you wearing that schmata for?"
No, is that like bad clothing or?
No, it's a rag.
Oh. I think I do need to be more Jewish. I'm going to study up.
Okay, and I'll just give you one more. Schmagegi.
Now I've heard, what's his name? Jerry Lewis uses schmagegi.
Oh, he does. He says schmagegi.
Yeah.
Well, let me just say with schmagegi, this is always a great fallback if you're taking a test on this stuff. Schmagegi is not too far removed from schlemazel, schmendrick, schlemiel, schmuck, or schlemazel.
As you're saying, every word you say, the person whose face comes to my head is Mel Brooks.
Yeah, okay, you're right. Yeah. So I'm thinking there's all these words that are like negatives for people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what a jerk, what a creep, what a schnook. What?
Schmagegi. But although that sounds like, a congressman. You know what I mean?
Congressman Schmagegi?
Did you vote for Congressman Schmagegi?
Well, you've been out. Now, what would be a Yiddish word for a good sport? Jeez, I don't know. Believe me,
there is a Yiddish word. You're a mensch.
Yes, a mensch. But we're only doing show words.
Okay. Sorry, I mentioned it.
All right. I think that's it. By the way, a shiksa is a non-Jewish male, a non-Jewish female. A non-Jewish male is a shagitz.
A what?
Shagitz.
That's not as cool.
No, it's not. It's not. Okay. So
right.
That's, I think that's it.
Okay,
thanks for being first of all, thanks for being out there. Thanks for being a good sport.
A mensch.
Real mensch, and thanks for singing that great song from Mad Magazine.
You're welcome.
Okay. Bye, Clarence.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, boy. Okay, let me catch up on emails here. Noreen, here is my 6 degrees of separation from David Bowie. My childhood friend, mine is Iggy Pop, unfortunately. My childhood friend, Barbara, lives in Worcester, Ohio, where her husband is a philosophy professor. David Bowie's son, Duncan Jones, attended Worcester College and was a philosophy major. And Ron, my friend's husband, was his faculty advisor. David Bowie was grateful for Ron's guidance for his son and asked to meet with him after graduation. They invited him and Iman, his wife, Iman, to their house for tea, and they were very impressed with how gracious and nice they both were. Well, that's cool. Yeah, his son Duncan is not the son of Iman. That's from David Bowie's first wife, and I'm not sure who she is, but I saw something on Twitter about, I think his first wife or one of his wives is right now appearing on Celebrity Big Brother. Is there such a show? And that they were wondering what to do about this intrusion of the real world into the absurdity of that reality TV show. And I read somewhere that they were going to tell his ex-wife, who's on this show, about it absurd. It was one of these absurd tidbits. Margie saying shiksa is also a whore? I don't think so. Really? I never heard it used that way. What do I know? Shorty. Well, I don't know what that means. Margie, stop this. Those drunks did they? Yeah. What kind of? Yes, I was. Okay, that's it. Okay. Well, call. Hello.
Hello, Lynn. It's Dave from Washington. I'm sorry to interrupt whatever you're talking about.
No, you didn't. I was just about to transist into something, and I was like racking my head to think, where should I go? And then you, right on cue, called. Thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome. I have a David Bowie horror story.
Okay.
Remember 8-track tapes?
Well, sure.
They just play over and over and over again. They just went nonstop. And in like 1977, I guess it was, a buddy of mine and me, we got in a car to go out and see a friend of ours out in Columbus, Ohio. And we're driving down the highway, and I'm like, hey, you got Ziggy Stardust. Let's play it. Let's put it in the tape machine here. And
I can hear what's happening. You couldn't get it out of the tape deck.
I closed the glove compartment door, and it locked. And so we listened to this thing over and over and over again for 4 hours. And you know, they used to fade a song out right in the middle, and then there'd be the big ka-chunk, and it would change, tracks.
So did that ruin Ziggy Stardust for you forever?
God, for 4 hours we listened to Ziggy Stardust. So then we got there, and we had a great weekend, and then on our way back, all right, see you later, bye, gotta go. We get in the car, and we turn the car on, and the first thing we hear is, Ziggy, play. So we took a crowbar out of the trunk, popped the glove compartment door right off.
Oh.
It went flying into the back seat. And heaved old Ziggy Stardust down the highway.
Oh, God. Oh, what a way to ruin a good album. But, I mean, yeah, nothing withstands that much.
Before I could listen to that again.
I bet.
And I kept forgetting, it does not fade out in the middle of that song. And then there's a big chunk, and it goes like that.
Oh, wow.
That's my big David
That's your
Bowie
David
memory.
Bowie memory, and it's a painful one.
I want to thank my brother for turning me on to David Bowie, the song Starman, specifically, and Moon Age Daydream, far out, far out, far out.
You know, he wasn't a guy who, had, #1 hit singles and stuff, right? I mean,
he just put out a ton of stuff.
It was albums, and it was I think he must have opened doors for so many other artists to...
And then another legend of him with him in it, and I don't know the combination, the song Angie by the Rolling Stones.
Yeah, I love that song.
Theoretically, I've heard a bunch of different versions of this story. Angie is David Bowie's wife, the person in the song. And either Mick Jagger caught David Bowie and Angie together, or... The alternative is Angie caught Mick Jagger and David Bowie together. I don't know what it was, but it was those three.
It was
David Bowie with one of the other ones.
Huh.
And that's what the song is about.
Angie. Wow. Well, who knows? Who knows? Anything is...
those crazy rock stars.
Those guys. I mean, they're both androgynous.
Yeah.
Mick and Bowie.
I'm going to go blast Ziggy Stardust.
All right. Okay.
Thanks.
Bye. Geez, I had a thought there when you were saying that. And did you know that he produced, David Bowie, Lou Reed's Walk on the Wild Side? I mean, just, wow. Whatever. Okay, so here's a quickie, something I found really unsettling. According to the Transportation Department, their internal watchdog, they are worrying that a lot of commercial pilots, the guys who are piloting the planes that we get on, are really getting not so good with their flying skills. And why would that be? Because they don't fly anymore. They sit there in front of a plane that's flying itself. You know, we talk about cars, that we're going to be sitting in cars that are just going to take us around. And pilots now, pretty much what they do is take off and land. Those are the two things they do. In between, those planes are on, literally, automatic pilot. And a pilot, think of on a long trip like what, Celine, like you just did. Can you imagine being a pilot? At least if you were really flying it, you'd have to pay some attention, but you're not. So you're up there, and you're supposedly supposed to be monitoring things, but I can see where you would just fall asleep. So anyway, because most 90-some% of flying today on a commercial jet is automatic, studies are telling us, and accident investigations are telling us that a lot of pilots' ability to manually fly the plane are getting really, really rusty. Now, I suppose it's like, they say if you ride a bike, even if you haven't ridden a bike in 500 years, you get back on the bike, you can ride. Your muscle memory takes off. But when it comes to pilots, and I'm sure that would be the case too, it'd kick in, but I don't like that information. That pilots, and we know of some crashes, especially on these regional jetliners, where pilots literally do not know if things start failing. They don't know what to do, and they do the wrong things. So a lot of crashes are pilot error. Because frankly, I could fly a 747 for 90% of its flight. I just sit there in the pilot's chair and watch things. So I found that a little disconcerting, and just because I'm now disconcerted, I thought, why be alone? I thought I'd share that with you. And that brings us to the end of this edition of Lynn Cullen Live. I'll be back tomorrow with my sister Susan, who is in California. And we'll do it all over again in 23 hours. Bye.
Lynn Cullen Live, Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. and archived at pghcitypaper.com. The opinions expressed on Lynn Cullen Live are those of the host and do not necessarily reflect the viewpoints of Pittsburgh City Paper, Steel City Media, and its advertisers.